Hello, my little love. Did you have a good day today? I hope something made you smile. Now take a slow breath, relax your shoulders, and let your mind get soft and quiet. It's time for a gentle bedtime story. Long, long ago, when the world was still young and learning how to shine, there lived a god named Apollo. He had golden hair that gleamed like sunshine itself, and his eyes were as bright and blue as the summer sky. Apollo had a special job that was more important than almost anything else in the whole world. Every single day, he would drive the chariot of the sun across the sky, bringing light and warmth to everyone below. Apollo's chariot was magnificent. It was made of pure gold that sparkled and shimmered, so bright that if you looked right at it, you would have to close your eyes and look away. 4 magnificent horses pulled the chariot, and they were not ordinary horses at all. They were made of fire and light, with manes that flickered like flames and hooves that left trails of stardust wherever they stepped. Their names were Pyrrhos, Eos, Aethon, and Phlegon, and they were as gentle as they were powerful. Every morning, before the world woke up, Apollo would rise from his bed in his beautiful palace in the east. The palace was made of marble that glowed soft pink in the early dawn, with columns that reached up toward the sky like the trunks of great trees. Gardens surrounded the palace, full of flowers that opened their petals to greet Apollo each morning. Turning their faces toward him as if he were already the sun itself. Apollo would wash his face in cool water from a fountain that sparkled like diamonds. He would dress in robes of white and gold that flowed around him like morning mist. Then he would walk out to the stables where his 4 horses waited, stamping their fiery hooves with excitement, ready to begin their journey across the sky. Apollo would greet each horse by name, patting their necks and whispering kind words to them. The horses would nuzzle against him, their warm breath like the first hint of sunrise. Then Apollo would climb into his golden chariot, take the reins gently in his hands, and together they would leap into the sky, pulling the sun behind them. As Apollo drove across the sky each day, he would look down at the world below and smile. He loved watching the earth wake up. He loved seeing farmers step out of their homes and stretch in the morning light. He loved watching children run outside to play, their faces turned up toward the warmth. He loved seeing flowers open and birds begin their morning songs. Everything he saw filled his heart with joy and purpose. The journey across the sky took all day long. Apollo would start in the east, where the sky was painted pink and orange and lavender, soft colors that made the world look like it was wrapped in a gentle dream. The horses would pull steadily, their hooves making no sound at all as they galloped through the air, pulling the bright sun along its path. By midday, Apollo would be high overhead, right in the center of the sky. This was when the sun was brightest and warmest. Apollo would guide his horses carefully, making sure the sun was not too hot or too bright, but just right for the people and plants and animals below. He knew that everything needed sunlight to grow and be healthy and happy, but he also knew that too much could be harmful. So he drove with great care and attention, always thinking about the world he was lighting. As the afternoon wore on, Apollo would begin his descent toward the west. The sky would change colors again, becoming gold and amber and deep orange, like honey glowing in a jar. The light would become softer, gentler, painting everything below in warm, sleepy colors. Shadows would grow longer, stretching across fields and roads like the earth was yawning and getting ready for bed. Finally, as evening came, Apollo would guide his chariot down to his western palace, which was just as beautiful as his eastern one. The horses would slow to a gentle walk, their fiery manes dimming to a soft glow. Apollo would bring the sun down below the horizon, tucking it away for the night like a parent tucking a child into bed. Then he would tend to his horses, giving them food and water, brushing their shimmering coats, and thanking them for their hard work. Now, Apollo had a son named Phaethon. Phaethon was a cheerful boy with dark curly hair and eyes that sparkled with curiosity about everything. He loved his father very much and was so proud that Apollo had such an important job. Every day, Phaethon would watch from the palace garden as his father drove the sun across the sky. And he would wave, even though he knew Apollo was too far away to see him. More than anything in the world, Phaethon dreamed of driving the sun chariot himself. He would imagine holding the golden reins, feeling the powerful horses respond to his commands. Soaring through the sky with the wind in his hair and the whole world spread out below him like a beautiful painting. Oh, how wonderful that would be. One day, Phaethon went to his father and said, "Father, I've been watching you drive the sun chariot every single day of my life. I know I could do it. Please, may I try? Just once? I promise I'll be very careful." Apollo looked at his son with love and concern. He knew that Phaethon was brave and good-hearted. But he also knew that driving the sun chariot was one of the most difficult and important tasks in the entire world. It required strength and skill and wisdom that took many, many years to learn. "My dear son," Apollo said gently, kneeling down so he could look into Phaethon's eyes, "I love your enthusiasm and your courage. But driving the sun chariot is not as easy as it looks. The horses are very powerful, and the path through the sky is full of challenges. The chariot must stay on exactly the right course, not too high and not too low, not too fast and not too slow. If it goes wrong, the world below could become too cold or too hot." But Phaethon was determined. "Please, Father," he said. "I've watched you every day. I know what to do. I'll follow the path exactly as you do. I'll be so careful. Please, just give me one chance to show you what I can do." Apollo felt torn. He could see how much this meant to his son, and he didn't want to discourage Phaethon's dreams. He also knew that sometimes the best way to learn is through experience, even when that experience is challenging. After thinking for a long while, Apollo made a decision. "All right," he said slowly, "but you must promise me you'll remember everything I teach you. Come, let me show you exactly what you need to know." Apollo spent the whole evening teaching Phaethon everything about driving the sun chariot. He showed him how to hold the reins, not too tight and not too loose. He explained how to speak to the horses, using a calm, confident voice so they would trust him. He described the path through the sky, pointing out landmarks, like the constellation of the Great Bear that he should stay away from, and the Scorpion constellation that marked where he should begin his descent. "The most important thing," Apollo said, holding Phaethon's shoulders gently, "is to stay on the path. Don't go too high, or the earth will grow cold and plants will stop growing. Don't go too low, or the heat will be too strong and make everything too warm. Keep steady, keep calm, and trust the horses. They know the way." Phaethon nodded seriously, trying to remember every word. He felt excited and a little nervous, but mostly he felt proud that his father trusted him with such an important task. The next morning, before dawn, Phaethon rose and dressed in special robes that Apollo had given him. They felt strange and important, and when he looked at himself in the mirror, he almost didn't recognize the serious young person looking back at him. He walked out to the stables where the 4 horses were waiting. And they looked at him with their bright, intelligent eyes, as if they were wondering whether this new driver was ready for the journey ahead. Apollo helped Phaethon climb into the chariot. "Remember everything I taught you," he said quietly. "Stay on the path. Listen to the horses. If anything feels wrong, just hold steady and trust yourself." He kissed Phaethon's forehead. "I believe in you, my son." As the first hint of dawn touched the eastern sky, the horses leapt forward, and Phaethon felt himself soaring up into the air. His heart raced with excitement and wonder. He was really doing it. He was driving the sun across the sky. At first, everything went perfectly. Phaethon held the reins just as his father had shown him, and the horses responded beautifully. They pulled the chariot up, and behind them, the sun rose, spreading golden light across the sleeping world below. Phaethon looked down and saw mountains and rivers and forests turning from dark purple to soft blue to bright green as the sunlight touched them. It was the most beautiful thing he had ever seen. But as they climbed higher, Phaethon began to feel uncertain. The horses seemed so powerful, pulling with such strength. The chariot swayed slightly as they moved through the air. When Phaethon looked down, the ground seemed so very far away, and he suddenly felt very small and young. The horses sensed Phaethon's nervousness. They could feel through the reins that this driver was different from Apollo, less experienced, less certain. They began to pull a little harder, testing whether Phaethon would guide them firmly or let them choose their own way. Phaethon tried to remember everything his father had taught him. "Stay calm," he whispered to himself. "Hold steady. Keep to the path." But his hands were trembling slightly, and the reins felt slippery in his sweating palms. The horses pulled upward, climbing higher than they should. Phaethon tried to pull them back down, but they were so strong, and he wasn't quite sure how much force to use. The chariot soared up into the sky, much higher than the regular path. Down below, people began to notice that something was different. The sun seemed farther away than usual. The light was there, but the warmth wasn't quite reaching the earth as it should. A chill crept into the air, even though it was supposed to be midday. Farmers looked up at the sky, worried. Animals huddled together, confused. Plants seemed to droop slightly, missing their usual dose of warm sunlight. Phaethon realized what was happening and felt a surge of worry. "Down," he called to the horses. "We need to go lower." He pulled on the reins, trying to bring them back to the right path. But now the horses, responding to his urgent pulling, dove downward too quickly. The chariot plummeted toward the earth, and Phaethon's stomach felt like it was floating up into his throat. Lower and lower they went, much too close to the ground. Now the opposite problem occurred. The sun, being so close to the earth, began to make everything too warm. People felt sweat on their brows and had to fan themselves. Rivers began to steam slightly. Plants drooped from too much heat, their leaves wilting in the intense light. Phaethon was frightened now. He hadn't meant for any of this to happen. He had been so sure he could do this, but it was so much harder than he had imagined. The horses were pulling this way and that, and he wasn't strong enough or experienced enough to guide them properly. Tears began to form in his eyes, and he wished desperately that his father were there. Back at his palace, Apollo had been watching with growing concern. He could see the sun chariot weaving across the sky, too high and then too low, not at all on the steady path it should follow. His heart filled with worry for his son, but he knew he had to act quickly to help. Apollo called out across the sky in a voice like gentle thunder. "Phaethon, my son, don't be afraid. You're not alone." Phaethon heard his father's voice and felt a small spark of hope flicker in his chest. "Listen to me carefully," Apollo called. "Take a deep breath. Close your eyes for just a moment. Feel the reins in your hands. Feel the chariot beneath your feet. You are stronger than you think. The horses will listen if you tell them calmly and clearly what to do. Trust yourself." Phaethon did as his father said. He took a deep, slow breath, feeling the air fill his lungs. He closed his eyes and felt the steady wood of the chariot under his feet. He felt the leather reins in his hands. And he remembered all his father's lessons. Opening his eyes, Phaethon spoke to the horses in a calm, clear voice. "Pyrios, Eos, Aethon, Phlegon," he said, calling each by name. "I know you're confused because I'm still learning. But I need your help. Please, help me guide us back to the path. We can do this together." The horses' ears pricked forward. They could hear the change in Phaethon's voice, less frightened now, more steady. They could feel through the reins that he was finding his confidence. Slowly, carefully, Phaethon guided them higher, away from the earth. Not too high this time, just to the right height. The horses responded, their powerful legs carrying them steadily upward. Then Phaethon guided them forward along the proper path, the one his father took every day, the one he had watched his whole life. Apollo sent his own strength through the wind, helping to steady the chariot. He whispered encouragement that only Phaethon could hear. "That's it, my son. You're doing wonderfully now. Keep going. Stay steady. I'm proud of you." With his father's help and guidance from afar, Phaethon managed to get the chariot back on course. The sun moved across the sky more smoothly now, at the right height, giving the earth below just the right amount of light and warmth. The farmers looked up and smiled with relief. The animals came out from their hiding places. The plants lifted their leaves toward the sun, happy again. As the afternoon wore on, Phaethon drove the chariot more and more confidently. He began to understand what his father had meant about feeling the horses, about trusting himself, about staying calm even when things felt difficult. He learned that being brave doesn't mean never being scared. It means doing your best even when you are scared, and asking for help when you need it. Finally, as evening approached, Phaethon guided the chariot down toward the western horizon. The sky turned beautiful shades of pink and orange and purple, and the sun sank gently below the edge of the world, ready to rest for the night. Phaethon brought the horses to a stop at the western palace, and as soon as the chariot touched the ground, his legs felt wobbly and weak. Apollo was there waiting, and he rushed forward to embrace his son. "You did it," he said, holding Phaethon tight. "You faced a great challenge, and you didn't give up. I'm so proud of you." Phaethon clung to his father, and now that the journey was over, he let the tears flow freely. "I'm sorry, father," he said. "I thought it would be easier. I didn't realize how hard your job is, how much strength and skill and wisdom it takes. You make it look so easy every day, but it's not easy at all." Apollo stroked his son's hair gently. "That's one of the most important lessons you could learn," he said softly. "Many things in life look easier than they really are. That's why we must always respect the work that others do, and why we must be patient with ourselves when we're learning something new. You're not supposed to be perfect on your first try. What matters is that you kept trying, and that you asked for help when you needed it." Together, they tended to the horses, giving them food and water and brushing their gleaming coats. The horses seemed to understand that Phaethon had learned something important today, and they nuzzled him gently, as if to say that all was forgiven. That night, as Phaethon lay in his bed, he thought about everything that had happened. He realized that he had learned so much more than just how to drive a chariot. He had learned about humility, about knowing your limits, about the importance of patience and practice. He had learned that it's okay to have dreams, but also important to understand that big dreams require time and preparation. He had also learned something wonderful about his father. He had learned that Apollo's strength wasn't just in his muscles or his skill with the reins. It was in his wisdom, his patience, his ability to teach and guide and help without judging or being angry. Apollo could have scolded Phaethon for the mistakes he made. But instead, he had helped him and encouraged him and shown him that mistakes are just part of learning. From that day forward, Phaethon watched his father drive the sun across the sky with even more admiration than before. He understood now what a gift Apollo gave the world every single day. He understood the care and attention and skill that went into making sure every living thing received just the right amount of light and warmth. And Apollo, for his part, was glad that Phaethon had tried and learned. He knew that his son was wiser now, more understanding, more patient. He knew that when Phaethon was older and had practiced and prepared for many years, he might try again, and next time he would be truly ready. But for now, Apollo rose each morning with the dawn and drove his golden chariot across the sky, just as he always had. The 4 horses pulled strong and steady, their fiery manes streaming behind them. And down below, the world received its daily gift of sunshine, warming the earth, helping plants grow, giving light for all to see and live and play. Sometimes, early in the morning or late in the evening, if you look very carefully at the sky, you might imagine you can see Apollo in his golden chariot, guiding his magnificent horses along their path. And if you listen very quietly, you might hear the gentle sound of hoofbeats in the clouds. And the soft whisper of Apollo's voice as he greets the world with another beautiful day. The sun rises and sets, day after day, year after year, century after century. And always, someone is watching over it, making sure the light and warmth reach every corner of the world. Touching flowers and trees and rivers and mountains and all the people everywhere, wrapping the world in gentle golden sunshine, just as it should be. So when you feel the warm sun on your face tomorrow, Remember Apollo driving his chariot across the sky with care and love. Remember Phaethon learning that big dreams require patience and practice. Remember that every day is a gift of light and warmth, painted across the sky by someone who cares about making sure you have everything you need to grow and play and dream. The moon has risen now, soft and silver in the dark sky, and the stars are twinkling like tiny candles scattered across velvet. The sun has finished its journey for today and is resting, gathering strength for tomorrow's ride across the sky. And you, my little love, should rest too, knowing that when morning comes, the sun will rise again, bright and warm and steady, just as it always does. You did well today, my little love. Now let your eyes grow heavy, and let the night wrap around you like a soft blanket. Sleep well, sweet dreams, and rest deeply.